It's happening, Paterson. I'm profoundly proud to kick off the revamped and rebooted program, Positively Paterson, where we highlight success stories in our city, and there are many stories that need to be told, and we're going to tell them. So, for our first guest, I thought it'd be appropriate to have on a gentleman who's distinguished himself as a member of the Paterson Police Department. In fact, when I call him Paterson's finest, I really mean he's one of Paterson's finest. So joining us today as our first guest on Positively Paterson, Officer Jordan Henry. Welcome, officer.
Sir, appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you as well. And some can say we picked the first for the best, or the best for first. So you're a lifelong Patersonian.
Yeah, yes, sir.
You want to tell us a little bit about being born and raised in the Silk City?
Yeah. You know, Paterson's a beautiful city.
Thank you.
Definitely a tough city, though. But I feel like, you know, Paterson made me who I am. You know, for me growing up in Paterson, I did come from a great family, a family foundation that in the end I feel like saved me for the most part, coming from a prayer family, you know, a God first family, because me growing up in Paterson, I realized a few things, navigating to, you know, survive and become successful. One of the things was that, you know, there's a lot of different things going on, a lot of different temptations, and it's easy to stray away from your path. So what I realized is that being a good kid, because I was a good kid my whole life, you know, but the streets are there, right? So I realized that being a good kid isn't good enough without God. Being a good kid isn't good enough without mentorship. Being a good kid isn't good enough without guidance, without village, without family, you know, and those are all the foundations that help save my life and help me succeed in life and want to give back to others and help these kids in the community by becoming a police officer.
That's profound. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Because I know that, you know, many people can succumb to the scourge of the streets, because you said there's a lot of temptation.
Yeah.
So how were you able to bounce back after suffering some adversity?
Yeah. So for me, again, you know, some people follow friends, some people, you know, have family issues and things of that nature. You know, for me, I thought it was cool hanging out with family outside at certain times and things of that nature. And it all catches up to you in the end. But how I bounced back from that is I went through a little situation where I got in trouble, and my mother was really there for me. You know, she helped heal me, right? And it's a testament of just prayer warrior women. They're really healing women, nurturing women that could resurrect you in any form at all times, you know. So it's a testament to my mother and my grandmother for praying for me every day. After I went through that little situation, it just sparked something in me. You know, I just wanted to be better. I wanted to, once I survived, I felt like I wanted to survive and provide better for the next generation, right? I always say, you know, I'm here to give kids chances that feel like they don't have a choice, give kids choices that feel like they don't stand a chance, give kids options that feel like they don't have an opportunity, because guaranteeing hope for our future, or guaranteeing opportunities for our youth, is guaranteeing hope for our future. And you can't guarantee that every kid is going to make the best choice, but we can guarantee that every kid can have the best chance at life, and that's what we do it for. I don't want the next generation to feel like they have to be in survival mode growing up in Paterson, because yes, I got a second chance, but in my mind, I want to say that I want to focus on putting more resources and better first choices, because everybody doesn't get a second chance. And that's the problem that we don't really understand, is that, yeah, some of us survive life or death situations when we're teenagers and, you know, avoid certain things, but that's through the graciousness of God. Everybody doesn't get that opportunity. So I don't even want you in that situation as a kid at all. So that's why, you know, I joined the Paterson Police Department. That's a story too, if you want to get into that.
Yeah, of course. I was going to say, what I really appreciate about what you said was that you come from a God-first family.
Yeah.
You believe in the power of prayer.
Yeah.
And so what inspired you to be a police officer?
So a police officer thing, it's a funny story. Again, you know, navigating through the city and streets and all this type of stuff, is their family in the streets and all that type of stuff. But I got out of the, you know, a little situation, and then I became like this I guess, young community leader, right? I started a nonprofit organization right after I got in trouble, whatever the case may be. And the whole point of the nonprofit organization was to help mothers protect their sons, how my mother helped protect me. And the community actually helped me a lot too. That's another thing too. A guy like me, I got a lot of help and still fell short. I got a lot of help in the community, man. The coaches, going through Paterson Recreation, those summer camps helped us. Different community leaders, even people that's Assemblyman Kenyatta Stewart, Senator Wimberly, all the football coaches, Kennedy and Eastside High School, Uncle Tony. I could name 100 people that helped me and I still fell short, so I created a nonprofit organization because I did fall short, but that same village that I leaned on pushed me back up, elevated me to lengths I've never been before either. So it still, helped me in life. And I started a nonprofit organization, anti-violence nonprofit organization. I met Kiana Rodriguez, my vice president. She introduced me to mental health and how anti-violence and mental health correlates. And after that, I met up with Pagan, right? The Moody program. Shout out to Al Moody.
Right.
When I was 16 years old, Al Moody said that, me and my friend Jameer was the future. So Al Moody played a big role, the godfather of anti-violence in the city, positive peer culture. I got with Satidi Moody after Pagan. I was working at the Al Moody program, and so I was working in the Paterson public schools, working with the kids. So at this point in time, I'm just focused. I just want to help my community. I really want to give the kids the best chance. So I'm starting a nonprofit organization. I'm working at the Al Moody program with the kids on bracelets. I'm working at the Al Moody High School with the kids that, they were thrown out from different schools. They go to their schools. So I'm just really focused, driven on, again, creating the best future possible for the youth in Paterson, New Jersey, so they won't have to go through survival mode like we had to go through. So after being with Moody, right, I was putting a lot of money out my pocket. Like I said, I was very passionate, thousands of dollars. I was very young, but I was getting older and had more responsibility, so I'm running out of money. So I went to Moody and I was like, hey, Moody, I'm running out of money. I can't keep on going out of my pocket. Like, who do you think I could talk to about getting resources for these kids? And he says, call Lieutenant Lassiter. I'm like, call Lieutenant Lassiter? I'm not trying to lock the kids up. I'm trying to free them. Like, I'm trying to, give them a life of success and stuff like that. He's like, no, Lieutenant Lassiter, she worked with us through the 90s with Al Moody, the whole program, the school and everything like that. She's good people. So I was like, okay, let's set up the meeting. So I set up the meeting with Lieutenant Lassiter. And she kind of just blew my mind in terms of just stepping up and helping the kids, right? Kids that have bracelets on, kids that were locked up, kids that had issues with police. She basically, Moody and Lieutenant Lassiter basically changed my mindset on policing, period. And when she helped me with that after school program for the kids at that school, Moody came back to me. He said, listen, Jordan, if you become a police officer, you'll be able to help the kids on a way higher level than you're doing now. And I felt like I had to make that sacrifice for my community, and I signed up.
That is inspiring. And for the viewers, the Lieutenant Lassiter you're referring to, she's also known as Lieutenant Sharon Easton, which she married my Little League baseball coach, the Reverend Dr. Randall Moses Lassiter, pastor of historic Calvary Baptist Church. So what I think is ironic with the work that you've done as a police officer is that you are spearheading this program. You're the catalyst behind this program called Options and Opportunities, which almost speaks to your life experience. So do you want to elaborate a little bit further on what Options and Opportunities is?
Yes, and first and foremost, man, number one, thank God, but also, we got to give credit where credit due. Thank you to the Paterson Police Department, Lieutenant Lassiter, and the entire Community Affairs Division for this opportunity to have a program like this. So, and also thank you, Mayor, for supporting our program from day one. Day one since we started. The mayor's been at every single event, so we're grateful for that type of support and platform as well. So the Options Opportunity Program, again, it was created to give the youth resources, services, options, and opportunities. It was created to where the kids, we wanted the youth in the Paterson, New Jersey to know that there's nothing off the table when it comes to your kids' success, and there's nothing off the table when it comes to saving the kids' lives, period, right? When it comes to the faith-based community, who we're grateful for, they establish the family structure, family foundation, and family culture for our youth. Family is very important in our community. It's very important for our village. And they also establish, God being number one, right? I always tell the kids about their character, morals, values, and principles, and things of that nature. Then we go into mental health. Mental health is very important as well. We have a lot of mental health speakers coming in, therapists coming in. I work very closely with the schools. Thank you to Paterson Public Schools too, and the superintendent. We work very closely in the schools to get these kids into our programs, whether they're at risk or high risk or whatever they have going on. I'm also a mentor to these kids, and we get all these kids from the school into our program. But that's why we established Options and Opportunity program with the mental health. After that, it's a work program, right? We big on work ethic, work development, work training, on-the-job training. The kids work with DPW, thank you to DPW, Oasis, Housing Authority. They work with community cleanups all across the city, the snow removal during a state of emergency crisis.
They definitely did.
Right?
Especially for senior citizens.
For senior citizens, yes.
Shovel their snow.
Yeah. And even with, the Housing Authority, we help the senior citizens know. Thank you to Ms. Gorham too, man, for all her help as well.
And with the Housing Authority, last summer especially, did a lot of work around a lot of these housing facilities.
Yes.
So they went to these senior sites, they repaired benches, right? Because they learned some skills, right? Craftsmanship.
And trades is one of our very important things. Exactly. So with the work training and program and development, the trades are one of the most important things. So they have skills to when they graduate the program, they can do automotive, plumbing, and another shout out to Servant Heart. We work very closely with Servant Heart with the trades. John and RC and those guys teach the kids automotive, plumbing,
some carpentry.
Yes, carpentry, construction. So that's everything. My big thing is experience and exposure can raise your expectation, right? Amen. And we don't want to wait until the kids are 18 and say that's their first time they got a job. That doesn't make sense. We want them to start working on their future early, working on their future early, so when they, get into the work field, it's familiar to them.
So that they're also learning about landscaping. Yes. Isn't that what they're doing now?
Yes, landscaping now. Again, thank you to DPW. We're doing a landscaping initiative this summer. That's going to be a huge, another, field that they can work into when they graduate high school. And that's our biggest thing, right? Preparing them for their future every time. I'm big on scripture and stuff like that. Jeremiah 29:11, right? It says, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. Like, that's always number one when it comes to the youth, right? We give them hope and a future by preparing them for their future. And that's the whole point of Options and Opportunities program, to prepare these kids whether they want to go to the Army, military, they want to become a police officer, a doctor. No matter what you want to be in life, we want to prepare you here, right? And not wait until you're 18 and just, let me start thinking about my future now.
And you alluded to it earlier, you need a firm foundation in your life.
You have to have
it. And it sounds like these young people who have this opportunity and the options, they're being set up for success.
Yes.
Because, listen, you may have had a setback, but a setback is only a step up or a set up for a comeback.
That's a fact.
And everybody likes a comeback story. And we like your comeback story, and there's a lot of comeback stories that you're contributing to now as a part of this very positive program. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we close?
One thing I would like to say, man, I know Paterson, New Jersey, I played football and I used to go all across the country, and they know us for the movie Lean On Me City, and that's something I take pride in, not just because of the movie, but because of all the people in the city of Paterson, New Jersey that helped me become who I am today, where I could look my daughter and my family in the eyes, know that they're not going to want for nothing through the graciousness of God. So I want to say that, man, we're only as tall as the shoulders we stand on. We're only as strong as the shoulders that we lean on. And this is very important. Village is very important, man. Family foundation is very important. So I do want to thank everybody that helped me to create a heart in me, to help the community, to help the kids. And that's what we push. Each one teach one, each one reach one. We're better together, right? So a family that prays together stays together. A community that prays together stays together. So we're going to continue to pray together and stay together. So I want to thank the city of Paterson and everybody that helped our program and organization, the mayor, again, the senator, assemblyman, and all the faith-based community, all the churches that's coming together, just the village and family that we're building for a better future for our kids and for the city of Paterson, New Jersey. Thank you.
Amen. And after law enforcement, you may have a path towards ministry. Man, might be a reverend one day.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, I feel like, maybe, but I just want to just create a better future. Again, like I said, I'm big on survive and provide, right? We survived certain things, let's provide better for the future. And just, keep on going from there, man. Just provide better for the future generation.
Well said. And we couldn't have picked a better guest for our first episode of Positively Paterson. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Jordan Henry, thanks for watching.
Thank you.